Hello friends, welcome back to another studio vlog. In case this is your first time here, my name's Heather. I'm the owner of Charming Chapters, which is a small bookish business located in North Dakota. And this week we are going to be working on catching up on pre-orders from our recent romance readers collection. In case you are new here, it was kind of a Valentine's Day collection. It was a lot of pinks and reds and colors, but I did designs that you could use all year round. So it's kind of like a Valentine's collection, but we just called it a romance reader collection. So we're going to be working on catching up on those orders this week. We should have a batch of fabric coming in. Actually, we have two different orders of fabric coming in. One should hopefully be here today, tomorrow, and then another towards the end of the week. I also have some stationery that's supposed to be arriving soon, and then we can finish up our mini Valentine's Day boxes that we are starting on. So it's gonna be kind of the plan for the week. I also need to finish some paperwork. If you watched last week's video, that's what I was working on. I need to catch up on everything for my quarterly sales taxes and also start working on stuff for my yearly taxes. But last week didn't quite go as planned. I did get through most of the paperwork. I'd say I'm probably about 3/4 of the way done. I was really hoping to be done with it, but we ended up having a frozen pipe towards the end of last week. As many of you know, if you're in the US, there was a lot of cold weather that went through, and we ended up having, I think it got to like 47, 48 below zero. So we did end up having a pipe freeze in the house. It didn't burst, thankfully, but it took us all day to figure out where it was frozen. So that was kind of what we worked on Thursday, and then Friday we had an electrician come in and help us with a few things. And so last week just didn't go to plan, so I'm a little bit behind on my paperwork, which I was hoping to be caught up on. So it's kind of what last week was like for me. But like I said, as for this week, we're gonna get paperwork done because I have to have that done by the end of the month here, which is Saturday. And then we're gonna catch up on as many pre-orders as we can. I am taking Friday off this week. My dad and my brother are actually coming up to help us put some sheetrock up in the basement. So we're gonna be working on that Friday, Saturday. I won't film any of that for you guys just because they aren't gonna want to be on camera, and honestly won't be very exciting to watch either, but that's what we're working on this weekend. And then hopefully I'll have some exciting news to share with you guys soon too. I'm waiting on an email to come back. It's not really shop related, but kind of. I'll have more details once I have a little bit more information for you guys here too. We're really excited about it. So as soon as I have more information, I'll share that with you. But first today we are going to work on clipping together book sleeves. Last week when I was fighting with everything with the paperwork, oh, I forgot to mention my phone gave out on me too last week. Last week's studio vlog went live almost 3 hours late. I'd been fighting with my phone. It did not want to transfer videos over to my computer, which is where I edit the studio vlog. So I had to go get a new phone last week too. But anyways, while I was fighting with my phone last week, I was starting to prep on some of the pre-order book sleeves that we need to get done. So I already have all the foam and fabric cut for those. So this morning we just need to clip those together, and then we're going to work on sewing those all day. If we have time, we'll pack a few orders too. There are two that don't have pre-order items that we can work on getting packed up today. And then like I said, some of these book sleeves are just waiting on more fabric or stationery to come in so we can finish those orders, but hopefully that should be here within the next day or two. But let's get started on the book sleeves for the day. finished sewing up the book sleeves that we could get done today. So next we're going to pack up the orders that we can. There are still some that we're waiting on items, like the pre-order items. Fabric did show up today, so that is currently in the dryer, so we'll be able to start on those tomorrow. And then we also had notepads show up, but we are waiting on sticky notes, so we won't be able to finish up those boxes today. But we'll work on packing what we can, and then we'll continue finishing the pre-orders tomorrow. Morning friends, happy Tuesday. Today we are going to be working on some of the pre-order book sleeves for that fabric that just came in yesterday. I am waiting on fabric for 2 more pre-order sleeves. I thought it was supposed to be here today, but I got an email this morning saying it's been delayed until tomorrow. I'm guessing it's just with all the weather and stuff in the area. And we've had really cold, frigid wind and temperatures and snow and all that, so I'm guessing that's probably why it's been delayed. I haven't looked to see if the sticky notes are still supposed to be here today. If they will be here and we have time, then we'll work on packing up the rest of those mini romance reader boxes, and if not, we'll work on those tomorrow. But today plan is to get book sleeves sewn for the pre-orders that we do have, and then we also had 2 orders come in overnight that have book sleeves, so we'll work on getting those done too. And then it looks like we have some stickers to make as well, so I just finished printing those out. Once we are done cutting all the fabric and clipping together the book sleeves, then I'll bring out the cameo and we'll cut those stickers here too. So it's kind of the plan for today. We'll work on getting some orders over to the post office too. I don't think we'll get all of the orders over in time before they close. In case this is your first time watching, we have a post office about 4 miles away, and it's only open for 2 hours a day. So we'll try and get as many orders over there as we can. If we don't get them all done, then we'll take them over tomorrow when we have that fabric for the rest of the pre-order book sleeves. So let's get started on the book sleeves that we can, get those sewn up, and then we'll work on packing some orders. I also forgot to mention that I finished Quicksilver yesterday. I also listened to Kingfisher's point of view last night while I was doing some paperwork. It was about 2.5 hours long. I kind of felt like they should have just included that with the first book, although I think she did write that after the first book was released, but being they've been redoing the covers and stuff, I kind of wish they would have included it with the first one, but that's okay. But today we're going to be starting on Brimstone. I am catching up with my friend. She did get a little bit ahead of me. She has started Brimstone already. We are doing a buddy read of the series, so I'm excited to be catching up with her. Last week I didn't really have time to listen to audiobooks, so it's nice to be able to listen to them again. So we'll be starting on Brimstone today, and I'll keep you guys updated on my thoughts for that. right, so I got a few of the sleeves sewn up, so we're going to pack up whatever orders we can and get them over to the post office before they close here. And then when I get back, I'm just going to continue sewing, and then whatever I can get done today, then we will just pack up tomorrow. We're also going to work on some paperwork tomorrow, so I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek into what that's like too. Good morning, friends. Happy Wednesday. Luna wanted to say good morning too. She's kind of sleepy right now. Yeah. So today I'm probably not going to do a whole lot of filming, to be honest. Earlier this week I had tweaked my neck. Actually, I had taken a nap with Luna on the couch, and when I woke up I had kind of a sharp pain in the back of my neck, so I thought I just tweaked it. But as the week has progressed, the pain has gotten a little bit worse too. I think it's just from all of the looking down with sewing and paperwork the last few weeks, so I think it's just kind of all adding up after injuring it on Saturday with taking a nap. So probably won't do a whole lot of filming because I'm not feeling the greatest today, but I will film a little bit of packing up our Romance Reader mini Valentine's Day boxes. We need to put the stationery into cello sleeves and then get everything together. I probably won't film a whole lot of the packing orders today. The ones that I do have left for the most part are pretty big orders, so they're a little bit harder to film because of my stand with the phone. It's hard to move up and down when I'm packing like boxes and stuff, so I probably won't film any of those today, like I said, because most of them are bigger orders that do need a box. So I will film a little bit of putting together the Romance Reader boxes, and then I'll show you a little bit of what I do with paperwork too. That's pretty much what I'm going to work on the rest of the day here. With that, I use QuickBooks. If you are a small business owner, I highly recommend QuickBooks. Yes, I know you're sleepy. She's down here yawning, licking my hand. I know you need a nap. Why don't you go lay in your bed? Go lay in your bed. Yeah. Anyways, if you're a small business owner, I highly recommend QuickBooks. It really helps keep everything organized, especially quarterly taxes and your yearly taxes. You can track your expenses, your income, all your sales, different things like that. Obviously, your taxes. You can also plug your inventory in there too. I don't keep track of my inventory in there just because a lot of our stuff is handmade and made to order. So I just keep a spreadsheet at the end of the year. We'll go through, and my husband and I will count inventory. So that's how we do our inventory at the end of the year. Throughout the year, like if we're having a big sale, we will count inventory before the sale just to make sure everything's up to date, but we don't keep a track of it in QuickBooks or anything. But anyways, I will plug all my receipts into QuickBooks. I have to do both invoices from the website, which we use Shopify, and then also from Etsy. So you'll see me jumping in between screens a little bit here just because I don't have a dual monitor. I just have my laptop. So I'll jump from Etsy over to QuickBooks and just plug a few things in. I won't film a whole lot of it for you guys just because honestly it's kind of boring, not gonna lie. I'm just gonna put on Brimstone in the background and listen to it and just plug in some invoices here. So we will do a little bit of packing orders and then we will move on to our paperwork. Friends, that's all I'm going to film for working on the paperwork here. Like I said, it's not very exciting. That's pretty much what I'm going to work on the next couple of days here. Like I mentioned earlier this week, I do have family planning to come up this weekend and help us out. My brother might be coming down with a cold, so I don't know if that's still the plan. Obviously, if he's sick, they won't come up, but I do have the plan to take Friday off nonetheless and just work on paperwork and catch up on things. So this is going to be the end of this week's studio vlog. I know it wasn't a very long video, not a very overly exciting week, but it's kind of been weird the last few weeks just trying to do paperwork and catch up on all the orders and stuff. So next week we'll mix it up a little bit. We should be all caught up on pre-orders, so we'll work on restocking. I think there's probably 100 and some book sleeves we need to restock, so we're gonna work on that next week. We need to cut the fabric, steam it all, cut it down into individual pieces, get all that added to inventory, and then there's also some bookmarks that we need to restock too. So that's kind of the plan for next week. I'm sure we'll work on orders in between all that too, but I hope you'll join me again next week. Well, like I said, we'll mix it up. I know the last couple of videos have been order packing and stuff, but that's just the reality of my small business. A lot of it is very repetitive, just sewing, packing orders, and I can't thank you guys enough for all of your orders as always. So I appreciate you showing your love and support for my small business. But I hope you join me again next week. We'll try and mix it up a little bit. So we'll catch you guys then. Bye for now.